10個の不規則動詞の活用を覚えることで、isso.
Não sei.
Olá, amiguinhos e amiguinhas que querem aprender português. Eu sou Índia.
Eu sou Borracha.
Bem-vindos ao nosso
canal! Yeah. Alright, what's going on, guys? So, this time, this is the part 2 of the irregular verb conjugations. Okay, we did 5 irregular verbs last time, and this time we're gonna do another 5 irregular verbs. So, in total, it's gonna be 10 irregular verbs, right? But it doesn't mean there are only 10 irregular verbs. Okay, so there are more, but we will go over these other irregular verbs as we go, okay, as we come across, okay? So don't worry about other irregular verbs for now. Let's focus on these 5 irregular verbs and also the 5 other verbs that we did in the last lesson, okay? So 10, alright? So let's get started.
Estão preparados? Então vamos ao que interessa.
Vamos! Okay, so let's just jump right in. Okay, so the 5 irregular verbs that we're going to be covering today are saber, which means to know, vir, which means to come, dar, which means to give, ver, which means to see, and dizer, which means to say. Alright, so just like last time, we went over 5 irregular verbs and we pretty much had to memorize the patterns because, again, they're irregular. So this time it's going to be the same, okay? But, don't worry about it because you're going to be using these verbs all the time, okay? So the first one, saber, okay, which means to know. But this saber is not quite as capable as know in English because in order to cover what you can say with the verb know, in Portuguese you have to use 2 different verbs, one of which is this saber, okay? So this verb is used to talk about when you know some information, when you have some information, okay, or facts. A common mistake is when you want to say that you know somebody, right? In English, you use I know, right? I know him, I know her, right? But in Portuguese, it's a different verb, not saber, okay? So we're gonna go over the difference between saber and this other verb that also means to know in a later lesson, okay? But this time, please take a look at some examples and try to, understand when it's used.
Eu sei, você sabe, ele sabe, ela sabe, vocês sabem, eles sabem, elas sabem, nós sabemos. Eu sei que hoje é domingo. Você não sabe que horas são? Ele sabe que está frio lá fora? Elas sabem que dia é hoje? Nós sabemos 1000 kanji.
Alright, moving on to V, okay? This means to come. So there's nothing too complicated about this verb. If you're a capoeirista, this verb comes up a lot in the songs, okay? But I guess the only thing for me personally is that this verb be is very similar to the one that I'm going to be introducing later on, ver, which means to see, okay? I kind of get mixed up sometimes, but it means to come, okay? Let's look at some examples.
Eu venho, você vem, ele vem, ela vem, vocês vêm, eles vêm, Elas vêm, nós vimos. Venho aqui cedo para trabalhar. Ela vem para minha casa nos fins de semana. Por que eles vêm sem dinheiro? Vocês vêm jogar futebol todas as semanas? Nós vimos a essa escola de segunda a sexta.
Alright, the next one, da, which means to give, okay? This is pretty straightforward. This is very similar to the verb give in English, the way it's used. It's quite similar, okay? So you'll see this in examples, okay? So here we go.
Eu dou, você dá, ele dá, ela dá, vocês dão, eles dão, elas dão, nós damos. Eu dou almoço aos meus filhos às 12 horas. Ela dá aula de português. Ele dá presente à namorada no dia dos namorados. Vocês dão banho nas crianças quantas vezes ao dia? Eu e meu marido damos muito carinho aos nossos filhos.
Alright, now ver, okay? This means to see, right? And it's pretty much the same as the English verb see, okay? And in English, you have watch, see, look at. They're all kind of different, right? You have to pick each one for specific situations, right? In Portuguese, it's kind of the same thing, right? So, ver is to see something, see somebody. You know, I'm going to see my cousin later tonight. I'm seeing all these people in the street, right? It's the same thing, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. So let's look at some examples.
Eu vejo, você vê, ele vê, ela vê, vocês veem, eles veem, elas veem, nós vemos. Eu vejo minha amiga todos os dias. Ele vê o cachorro na rua todas as manhãs. Você vê sua avó todos os meses? O que elas veem no rio? Peixes? Tartarugas? Vemos filme nos sábados.
Last but not least, dizer, okay, which means to say. Alright, so if you guys remember, there was a verb, falar, which means also to say, but it's used to say, but also to say, to talk about something, right? Okay, but this dizer is say, and also tell, like when you tell someone something, you use tell and say kind of in an interchangeable way, right? So when you say something to you, when you say something to somebody, when you tell somebody something, it's kind of the same thing. So dizer, tell, or say, okay? Let's go to the examples.
Eu digo, você diz, ele diz, ela diz, vocês dizem, eles dizem, elas dizem, nós dizemos. Eu sempre digo que te amo. Ele diz que capoeira é um bom exercício. Vocês dizem que eu falo pouco. Por que nós não dizemos nada a ela? Sempre dizemos a verdade a todos. Vocês gostaram da aula? Espero que esta aula tenha ajudado vocês.
Alright, so how was it? I know by watching this lesson once, you guys are not going to remember all the conjugations, especially because they are irregular verbs, right? But don't worry about it, take your time, one step at a time, one verb at a time, okay? Understanding the workings of it, understanding the grammar, how it works, alone does not really get you where you want to get to, right? So you need to understand how it works and then practice, right? You have to practice, practice, and practice, and then you will know how to use when you want to use them. Okay, so it's very important that you guys watch these lessons and practice. Okay, so after this, we're gonna be moving on to ER ending verb and then IR ending verb. After that, okay, this is, once we've covered all three types of Portuguese verbs, AR ending verb, ER ending verbs, and IR ending verbs, the rest, I wouldn't say is easy, but you will have the foundation to move forward. We can do future tense, and then we can move on to past tense. Okay, when you know how to say things in present, past, and future tense, you can say a lot of things, right? Okay, so stay focused, don't give up. Okay, we'll go through this together. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next lesson. Até a próxima aula. Tchau, tchau.